Good day everyone, my name is Shenben Mahabaziwal and I'm going to report about sacred texts. So, from the word sacred or sagrado in Filipino, it is always in connection with God or gods from other religions, which are mainly dedicated to a religion purpose and deserving veneration or respect. Sacred texts are therefore written works that carries a fundamental teaching in relation to religion. To further understand what sacred texts really are, let us go deeper. So, what are sacred texts? It says here that it is all religious traditions that have certain texts that are considered sacred, which means that any written text that is aligned with religious traditions are considered sacred. Believers attach significance to texts because all those believers are the one who preserves the sacred text. Sacred texts may offer insights to life, and that is because with engaging into sacred texts or religious teachings, it could give us life-changing enlightenment about the values of life. It could serve also as guidance for living, an expression of relationship between people and their God or gods, because through sacred texts, it also serves as our communication with God. Here are the examples of sacred texts. As we have observed, there are many written works such as myths, poems, legends, epics, and other more. But when it comes to sacred texts, it is also considered as a written word, but it is more on the religious side of the written texts. Therefore, the given examples are primarily in relation with various religions. So, with us Christians, our sacred text is the Holy Bible. In the Holy Bible, there is the Old and the New Testament. In the Old Testament, it was completed before Jesus Christ was born, consists of various texts that explains the beginning, as well as it reveals God's Word. The Old Testament consists of 39 books, while the New Testament was the period of Jesus, including his teachings and his life and works. This consists of 27 books. So, as we all know, our Holy Bible contains the Word of God and records of God's dealing with prophets and ministry to the earth. The Holy Bible is also a sacred text to Christians, as this is where all the commandments and religious teachings of God are written. So for us Christians, our sacred text is the Holy Bible, because we do believe that all those teachings, commandments that was written in the Bible were not from an ordinary person, but from God Himself. Let us go with other religion. So with Hinduism, they have the Vedas and Upanishads as their sacred texts. The Vedas is a collection of hymns and other religious texts composed in India between about 1500 and 1000 BCE. This includes elements such as mythological accounts, poems, prayers, and formulas considered to be Vedic religion. So with Vedas, it also deals with religious texts in the form of other literature. While in Upanishads, it is also a collection of texts of religious and philosophical nature, written in India between 800 and 500 BCE. The book contains the thoughts and insight of important spiritual Indian figures. So, in relation with Vedas, Upanishads also consists of texts from religious teachings, but the difference is it is more focused on the spiritual Indian figures. Next, we have the religion of Islam. So in Islam, the Quran and the Hadith are their sacred texts. The Quran is the central religious text of Islam, contains some basic information that is found in the Hebrew Bible as well as revelations that were given by Muhammad. It is also considered as the guidance for Muslims to seek advice from their Allah. So in relation to Christians, the Quran is equivalent to our Holy Bible, and it is also consists of those written works or texts, commandments, and teachings of their Allah. While the Hadith contains the report of what Prophet Muhammad said or proved. These two are considered as sacred texts towards Muslims, as these are the written texts, teachings, and principles told by their Allah. Another example is the sacred text of the religion Jainism, which is the Agamas. Agamas is the text that contains the teachings of Mahavira, the one who established Jainism. While in Buddhism, the sacred text is the Tripitaka, which also contains the word of Buddha and the basis for the teachings of the monks. So, we could observe that all those sacred texts are mostly related to the teachings of God. That is why these justify the sacred text is interrelated to religion. After knowing about what sacred texts really are, including its given examples, now the question is how we're going to preserve or keep all these sacred texts. So, the following are the possible actions. Number one is through internalizations of those sacred texts written on the Bible, or enacted in arts, dance, songs, sculptures. So we could also able to preserve it if we enact or perform all those written texts through dance, song, and sculpture, because it could be possible. Next is through preaching or sharing or spreading the words of God. The other is through sharing written letters and stories, particularly spreading or sharing Bible stories that is very much beneficial for proper values. And the other one is embodying the Holy Bible or the written text that covers the religious teachings and commandments, because putting your mind and heart as well as putting into your action all those written texts and the Holy Bible is truly a must in order for us to preserve and keep all those teachings that was given by God for us a people. The last part of my report is giving my important reminders, which is the name of God is sacred. Same true with Allah and other names of various gods from other religions. Remember, we should not use these as an expression to curse or to say bad things, for these whole names are only ought to mention for good deeds and for religious teachings. I add these as an important reminders because today's generation, the holy name of our Almighty Father is being played on. Some people even use it as an expression to curse, such as saying, blank damn it, or oh my blank, which is not supposed to be, because those holy names are sacred and tends to be holy. But in addition, regardless of what sacred text you believe in or what religions you belong to, respect and love must always reign in all our heart. Thank you very much for listening, and may God bless us all.